Good morning and welcome to day 3 here at NAB. The topic for this segment, augmented reality with Michael Geissler, CEO of Moses. So first, let's start off by explaining what augmented reality is.
Augmented reality is if you drop in something fake, computer generated, into real footage or video.
So what benefits does augmented reality provide for broadcasters?
Okay. Let me just revert to as well virtual studios, because they were first. And then it was still a sort of like black art, and only with AR suddenly it became more popular. And I think the difference is there that virtual studios, you were able to replace, enhance your setting where you are, while augmented reality, which is things you put into the foreground, actually enhance your content. And you can change it all the time, depending on what you're referring to, what you want to explain further.
So how are you dealing with the increased demand for augmented reality?
By making things simpler, and that's what we're really good at. We invented the star tracker technology, because tracking is sort of like the camera tracking, figuring out where the camera is, so that the computer can put the right background in the right matching perspective. It's sort of one of the key components. And up till now, tracking and figuring out which way the real camera is looking, involved a sort of chain of experts and chain of technologies. It was very, very complex and held it back in a way. And we thought there must be a better way of doing this. And the last 7 years we worked on what is today Star Tracker. And Star Tracker really simplifies the way camera tracking is done.
So in this presentation, we actually have things that people are seeing that aren't actually here on our set. Can you explain more about that technology as we see that? And if you go to the other camera and we look above my head on this lovely mural of San Francisco, you'll see a Grass Valley sign. And that Grass Valley sign isn't really here. It's not hanging, it's total augmented reality. And as cameras switch, they see it the way that camera would normally switch it, and you brought my latest car for me, thank you very much. So explain how this all works.
Okay, first of all, there is a camera tracking technology added to the camera and figuring out which way the camera is looking. Only then the computer can sort of render for the foreground the right object. Also here we simplified, again, in collaboration with Grass Valley, we actually added Star Tracker as a camera feature now into the Grass Valley cameras. So it went from really specialized technologies into becoming a feature of the camera. I don't think it can go more mainstream than that.
And that's wonderful. So, and one of the great things is the elements that we're putting on, like this car, can have movement. They obviously shift in perspective with the camera and as the camera moves, but if we can get a shot of my latest new car, and we can see, let's move the car out of the way and let's show something else for augmented reality. Let's say election coverage. So let's put my floor back together again. And let's bring up the US Capitol as though we were doing election coverage. So please, the US Capitol. And this works exactly the same way. Perspectives change as the camera moves. I see it in our monitor. If we switch cameras, the camera perspective changes. And a lot of this comes from the infiltration of gaming technology and gaming engines. So talk about that for a little bit.
Okay, lately game engines, in particular the Unreal Engine, sort of added photorealism to virtual studios. Initially sort of introduced something from zero density, and then picked up by now with pretty much all the other broadcast graphic provider, and it seems like it's sort of becoming a standard of what people want to see in sort of rendering quality. Yes. Oh, also, we are now using that technology ourselves, but that is for the film industry. And there's a very different approach to the film and broadcast industry. A broadcaster actually wants to focus on program making, less experimentation, and also wants to have a single point of contact and service and support. So therefore, the Unreal element is offered by the virtual studio broadcast graphics providers. In the film industry, and that's where we here on NAB show a new product, the film industry wants to have direct access. They want to experiment. They want to have full control, and if necessary, even dig around in the source code. And that's a totally different aspect, but we're also now, with Star Tracker, catering for those.
And so I'm going to do a little host seat directing here. My apologies to our director. So I'm going to ask Marcel, one of our cameramen, can you show us the Star Tracker system that we've got up on the ceiling so people can see what that looks like? So it's just these white dots that are there, and it's communicating with a module. So Paul, if I can get you to shoot the module that we have on that other camera so people can get an idea of the size that we have on it, and they're communicating with each other.
These are actually reflective stickers. What you call module is actually a little camera looking up, and they see these stickers. Their stickers are totally random, stuck on there. If they're in different heights, that's even better. And it's like being under a starry sky. The constellation tells you where you are. And we simplified this process so much that you only once ever you set it up. Whenever you come back into the studio, you just flick a switch and switch it on. There's no need for user interface, for user interaction, for any setup, left alone a touchscreen or whatever. So you just come in, switch on, and you switch off in the evening, and that's it. This is how far we have driven the simplification of that process.
And these Star Tracker cameras that are mounted on the Grass Valley cameras, simple integration, nothing very complicated, just easy to do.
Yes.
Absolutely fantastic. So where do you see the future of augmented reality going with regard to broadcasters and television and media and everything else that it can be used for?
I think it's a sort of going two ways. One is the way where we won't see it anymore. It will, I don't know, extend your set, or things that are meant to look like they're really there, but they're not. And it will get so much better that we hardly notice what is fake, what is not. And the other thing is where we actually want to, like with augmented reality, add information where it's obvious this is computer-generated information, but it helps us to understand more about the content, enriches the content, and supports the content.
Excellent.
But it's obvious AR.
Excellent. So your system is being demonstrated at a number of booths at NAB, so if someone is here in Las Vegas at NAB and they haven't seen your system yet, let us know, in addition to the great system we have here at Grass Valley that we're obviously using during this show, where else can someone see the MOSYS system?
Of course in the Grass Valley booth, and then we have Brainstorm, ROS, Zero Density, and that is in the South Hall with the virtual studios. And then we are in the Central Hall where we have our robotics that sort of shrunk this year because we have a big focus in the North Hall where we have been given a stand due to our innovation, where we're showing two things. It's specifically for visual effects in the film industry, so we have Star Tracker VFX, we call it, with an Unreal Engine plug-in, recording data to timecode and exporting to FPX, which is specifically for if you do have a post-rendering, editing workflow rather than going real-time and live on air. The other thing we show, which is like a very, very useful combo, is a motion capture suit of the company Xsense that is providing pretty much the best motion capture, but inherently this technology made out of gyros drifts around within the studio. So we added here Star Tracker, and therefore we have, it doesn't drift anymore. So you have the best of both worlds, best data and absolute positioning within the studio. That will allow feature films to have motion capture that can be filmed throughout the entire studio rather than being restricted in a smaller area due to cost.
Great. Thank you, Michael, for joining us, and thank you for joining us here at the Grass Valley booth at NAB 2018.